Saints quarterback Derek Carr on first game in Kubiak offense and more. This is after the first preseason game between the Saints and the Arizona Cardinals. Derek Carr played 2 possessions, did absolutely nothing. The first team offense was, just nothing doing. Nothing at all whatsoever. So bad that I thought that we were going to see a third possession. We did not. So interested to see what Carr has to say here. This is presented to you by New Orleans Football. Good folks, Nick Underhill, Mike Triplett, and the gang are obviously providing a ton of content during this time. Carr was interviewed on the sidelines during the game, and he mentioned that the offense wasn't going to give much. They weren't going to show much. They weren't going to try and do anything too complex. Understandable. Kubiak made that very well known. He made it very well known that a couple weeks ago we covered an interview where he said that they would know if they were ready week 1 against Carolina. Kubiak is not going to put a lot into these games. I think it's obvious. He's not going to show you wrinkles. He's not going to show you anything interesting. Maybe towards the end there, maybe game 3. I don't know. But it's difficult for a fan to watch this and say, to come away with anything more than the reports we've heard for the last couple of weeks, right? Like if you didn't watch this game and you said, what do you think happened? Just by how training camp has gone. You would say, I bet Spencer Rattler and Jake Haener look pretty good. They did. I bet you'd say the Talise Fuaga looks good. He did. I bet you'd say Trevor Penning looks like ass. He did. And you'd say the defense looks pretty good. It did. But that's all we've been saying for 2 months now with rookie minicamp and training camp and OTAs and whatnot. Nothing really changed that today or last night. Or when the game was last night. We're recording the day after. But the only thing that I would say that training camp said that we didn't see is training camp has mentioned how good the first team offense has looked. Training camp has mentioned how sharp Carr has looked and everyone involved in that first team has looked, which, again, they did not. So interested to see what Carr has to say. Ladies and gentlemen, we're trying to get the numbers up over on my Twitter and Instagram, so make sure if you're enjoying this content, go check it out over there. I'm trying to be more posting of just not only clips and not only whatnot, but live tweeting during games and stuff on the Instagram of just me walking around New Orleans, obviously just some life stuff, also tickets of what I'm betting on, all that kind of stuff. So make sure you're following those too. If you don't have social media, good for you.
What did you want to get accomplished?
Nice. Unbelievable performance by this guy. Hey, brother, there's a press conference going on. I'm not sure if you just stumbled in here, if you're looking, what's going on here? How does this happen? How do we get this started? It blows my mind. Every time we watch an interview, there's either planes flying overhead, we're either outside of Airline Drive next to PJ's and Matt Bauer's Auto Group, or we've got the Penguin from Batman walking in front of the franchise quarterback, walking in front of Derek Carr. This is absolutely out of control. What happened? Where were you? Were you at the buffet? Were you at the snacks that they give reporters? The coffee stand. What was going on? The elevator got jammed. The escalator. Mr. Flight, Uber driver, didn't know where to pick you up from. You had to walk around the building. I understand that. Arizona heat, 110 degrees, but hey, it's a dry heat.
Play as much as we could. No one told us, how many plays or anything like that. So really just hearing Clint communicate, having those conversations, all those things, and then you want to win. Anytime you get a chance to put the jersey on. I've always said this. It's just such a blessing to be able to play in an NFL game, preseason, regular season or not. You're just always thankful for those moments.
I'll tell you this. It was not a blessing to watch the game. It was not a blessing to watch that at all. It was, very, very boring early on. It got exciting with Haener and Rattler because they were slinging it. They were letting it rip. And then obviously Rattler's rushing touchdown and game-winning drive and all that was cool. The first half of the game, God bless. That was some 1945 football right there. It was grueling.
And so, being able to go out there and play, and then they're like, you guys are done. It's like right as you're getting, you get so excited, and then all of a sudden it's over, in 10 minutes. And that's tough about the preseason. But, I thought communication-wise, all those kind of things, there'll be things to correct and all that. But it was just nice to, it's a new voice, hearing that, new for our guys, all those kind of things. So,
yeah, it's important to remember, guys, obviously the penalties weren't cool, right? We had, 10 penalties, 7 penalties, somewhere in there. that stuff will get cleaned up. You know, the communication, the penalties, the false starts, the moving around, people in new positions, people hearing new things. You know, all that is brand spanking new. So those kind of things, they'll come with time. And again, like, I wouldn't be too concerned with, Carr missed. Like, there was one time where I think it was like 3rd and 8 or something, or 3rd and 10. And we checked it down, and it was Jamal Williams. Jamal Williams ended up catching a pass, and it was just like a little check down pass. And I remember thinking, like, if this is the regular season, I'm going absolutely ballistic. You know, like, how do you end up, it's 3rd and 10, how are you not pushing the ball past the sticks, you know, all that kind of stuff. But then I thought, well, it's preseason. Like, they're not really, they're not that concerned about moving the ball. Like, obviously, you want to be successful, but you're not going to force something in the first game of preseason. You're just going to check it down and get on out of there. So I did have that moment too where I'm like, okay, relax. It's preseason. Like, the play sheet is probably a 5% of the plays on the play sheet. Let's not go crazy here. So keep that in mind, guys. You know, the play calling and the wrinkles and the situational aspects of the game.
It was good to finally get to do that in a live situation.
Derek, what did you think of the operation? I mean, you said you wanted to hear clip in your ear and those kind of things. What did you think about it?
I think he's a great communicator. I thought it was very clear.
Good.
You know, and that stuff matters. And so,
absolutely.
I don't know, I just thought he did a great job, you know, communicating with us. Even when I came out, I was listening, you know, and just hearing what he was saying, and, you know, the reminders, all those kind of things that are going to come up only in game situations. And so all those things were pretty cool, and, you know, you see why he's such a good coach. You know,
you got to remember too, this is something you don't see, but like, Clint Kubiak's kind of getting used to this too. He's kind of getting used to, okay, he's in the box, he's watching, he's doing his thing. Okay, now we're calling live plays. I got to do this quick. I got to do this. I got to communicate this. I got to throw the reminders out there. I got to watch what the defense is giving me. We're going to try this wrinkle. We're going to try this wrinkle. So it's also new for him. So it's good to see, or good to hear, no pun intended, that the communication between the booth and Carr, the quarterbacks, like, Carr is obviously not always the quarterback, but Kubiak and the quarterbacks, the communication is good.
Not just what we thought about him, but during a game, the reminders and the things that he can remember for the quarterback.
By the way, a lot of people have been talking about Kubiak not being on the sideline. He was up in the box. I'd be up there too if I was an offensive coordinator. I think you can see the game better, the all-22. Being on the sideline, I think, can be kind of problematic. Like, it's kind of hard to see what's going on. I would like that aerial view anyways. I know when I'm at Saints games, where we sit is kind of an all-22, or pretty close to an all-22, and I just see the game so much better there than when I'm watching the game on the broadcast, because it's not exactly the same angle. So I don't blame offensive coordinators for sitting up in the booth. I don't think it matters whatsoever that they're on the sideline or up there. Wherever you're comfortable, wherever you can see things, that's how I wouldn't worry about it.
Quarterback's pretty cool.
What's the difference between having your offensive coordinator on the sideline where you kind of go up to him and talk to him versus having him over the press box where you kind of have to communicate?
By the way, shout out to New Orleans.football, their audio engineers. For some reason, the New Orleans Saints can't figure this out because their videos are different, but they're flipping back and forth between two audio. So you can hear the audio with Carr, and that's isolated, and then you can hear the audio with the reporters, which is isolated. When the reporters are asking questions, you can hear the background music, you can hear a lot of stuff happening. When Carr's answering, it's crystal clear. So good job on them for having that sorted out, especially on the road. You know, they're doing this in Arizona. Audio is the hardest part, I think. Audio engineering, the audio component of videos is very, very, very difficult. The video side of things is usually pretty easy, but audio can be very finicky.
Communicate in different ways. Is that change kind of your approach in terms of how you make those changes?
Yeah, absolutely. But I think
right
him and you know, Coach Janocko have such a great relationship. You know, so it's like, if I'm talking to Janocko, it's like talking to Clint, you know, and so it is different. You know, I'm used to the play caller being on the field. You know, you go to, hey, I'm thinking, you know, this, or what about this, or, you know, hey, I'm seeing this, I know when it's this, you know, let's do that, you know. So those conversations is kind of still in between, but at the same time, I thought it was clean. You know, I don't know if he's going to be up or down every time. I don't know, but you know, it's different, but it's also at the same time, you just come over, do your thing, and then, you know, there's one voice talking to you. You know, it's Coach Janocko. So, you know, I don't know if one way's better than the other, but I thought it was good today.
Is this the first time in your career that you've had a play caller in the press box?
No, not the first time. But it's been some years since I've had that though.
Just like understanding the preseason is what it is it like frustrating that like you only get 9 plays, you aren't really able to do a lot with it, and then you have to come out and just kind of sit with that for a week?
Yeah, because there's things that like we've been working on. You're like, oh, but I don't want to show this, and then he's like, yeah, I don't want to show this either, and I don't want to show this. So then you get down to it, and you're like, you're running like the basic stuff, and it's like, but like I said, to get out there and play, you still got to execute, and you still got to.
I was just about to say that. I was just about to say, like, it is, and I think the fans would agree. Like, you do want to see the wrinkles. You want to see the stuff. But at the same time, it's like, well, don't show it. It's like, okay, sure. But then it's like, okay, well, then what are we going to do? You still have to go out there. So it's like, we'll just run basic plays. I'm sure for Carr, it's the same thing where it's like, man, I wish we could stretch it out, or I wish we could do this, or I wish we could do that. And then you're checking it down, or you're running the ball, or you're keeping it pretty chill, and then it's 3rd and 8, and you check it down, and you're like, all right, I guess my day's over. So it's a give and take on both sides, but I don't blame them for having that mindset. I would think it was insane if we're like showing our best plays during the first game of preseason.
Try and make it happen no matter what. We didn't. We were laughing on the sideline right before I was going out. And he's like, quarterback coach, like, I'll let you know who's playing nickel. I don't know. I'll let you know. Like, you don't game plan for these or anything like that. So that part is hard, and that's the weird part about preseason. But at the same time, it's like, man, I get to get hit again. You get all that, throw a ball, see the coverages from someone else. Try and use the keys and things that you use against somebody else. So that stuff is positive. But when it comes to man, of course we want to go down there and score, and everyone feels good, and you come off and root for the young guys. But at the same time, you understand what it is.
I'll tell you this too: if you need any evidence for preseason not really mattering that much, remember the first possession last year, where the Saints offense looked like the greatest offense of all time, marched down the field and scored. I don't think we scored on our first possession for the rest of the damn season. So like the second to last week, the penultimate week. So it can show you both sides where. How good we looked in the opening possession last year virtually meant nothing. And I've said it before, but when the Patriots went undefeated until they lost to the Giants in the Super Bowl in 2007, or whenever that was, they lost every game in the preseason. So, but that is interesting too to think about. Like, there's no game planning at all. So they're kind of just going out there and winging it on game day, but it's still an NFL game, full contact, where you're still getting hit by NFL players. Like, it's not 7-on-7. Like, you're going out there and you're like, I have no game plan. I have really no idea who's even on the field. Like, there's so many triple third strings and backups and rookies and undrafted free agents, and who the hell knows who's where. But simultaneously, it's like you can get absolutely blown up. So that's got to be kind of weird for the players.
I thought they did awesome. Yeah, there's going to be who cares about things they got to clean up, man. Like I always tell those guys, cut it loose, because this is what an opportunity it is for you to just cut it loose and figure it out. And I had the same thing with Schaub. Like, I was in a great situation where I can just go out there and just let it rip, and I learn from mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, and the opposite side of that is if you're a backup, right? If you're Spencer Rattler and Jake Haener, this is your chance to make an impression. So, or even like A.T. Perry, players like that, where Carr will check it down. It doesn't matter to him. But for them, it's like, I have to get this first down. Like, I'm going to let it rip. I'm going to take the chance. I'm going to take a shot.
And learn from things, and and just the communication, I think, from both of them as they come off too. I just listen to them talk and the way they see things, and if I have a helpful thing that has helped me, I'll help them. But if not, I just try and let them play. That's their time. Game day's for the players. So in that moment, you're like kind of like a coach, and you just try and get out of the way, let them play. But if you see something, try and help. Hey, they are doing this, and then and then you see them throw a completion. And that stuff's cool.
Cool watching Spencer out for 2 minutes at the end of the game.
Awesome, man. He's done a great job. Him and Jake both have done a great job of because we had one in the first half too, of that drill all camp, and so to see them operate that. Jake going down, getting us points, much needed. Obviously, we needed them. And then Spencer going down, getting us points to win the game, setting up Charlie, which was awesome. It was his first kick.
First kick, game winner. Love it.
But seeing that operation, that's just as a quarterback, that's your favorite time. Just get to play fast, go throw the ball, find completions, and try and win the game. So it's awesome.
Were y'all playing you two in the locker room for Charlie?
I can neither confirm or deny that. I am not in charge of the auxiliary cord.
But like seeing that, I mean, like he was like jacked up after that kick. What was like the team?
I hope someone has the most awkward high five I've ever received in my life. Like, I went to give him a high five, and I don't know what. I was like, I'm lucky I didn't break my hand. But he was juiced, and rightfully so. He just told us, like, I didn't know this. He hadn't kicked a football like a year ago. He had never kicked a football. It's like, to go out there and kick a game winner, who cares? Even though it's preseason, like, who cares? Like, that's something he'll remember forever.
It is crazy. I mean, I heard that his family was watching. It was like 4 a.m. their time, but they were watching, and then to see him kick a game-winning field goal on his first kick, like, very exciting. Good story, great story. So hopefully, and I love that he had the chance to kick it, because that is a conversation where it's like, I'm sure Groupie was probably out of pads and all that, but it's like, you have a game-winning kick. Part of you does want your main guy to feel that, your main team to feel the pressure and see what happens. But on the other side, it's like, well, you let the backup do it. Let him get some reps. You let him push the starter. Let that competition, create a little competition there. So I love it. So will he be our starting kicker? Who knows? But he got a chance. He got a chance in that game and was really good. So you love what you see.
That's pretty awesome. Good.
There you go. Derek Carr, preseason game 1 in the books. A lot of people are not happy with Derek Carr and the performance of the first team offense. I would pump the brakes. I'd pump the brakes, ladies and gentlemen. But there you go. Let me know in the comments what you think. Are you already buying your Spencer Rattler jerseys and selling your Derek Carr jerseys on the Facebook Marketplace or Black Market? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.